Ultimate enchants are great. They're just a free buff to your gameplay. Not necessarily free, but they're still a buff to your gameplay regardless. You have ultimate enchants like Soul Eater, Swarm, combo that just increase your melee damage. You have things like Last Stand, which will like double your defense. You even have things like Ultimate Wise, which will like fucking reduce the mana cost by 2 times. It's insane. Ultimate enchants are generally related to specific classes. Say combo for Berserk because of melee, Soul Eater is also for Berserk and Archer because that's damage, and things like Last Stand are meant for tank because they're armor pieces or just survivability in general. For mage, there's really only 2 ultimate enchants, Ultimate Wise for your weapon and Wisdom for your armor. But I'm going to be comparing one more ultimate enchant that mages, I don't know, maybe you should be using it, maybe you shouldn't be using it. I'm going to be testing that out in this video. Not really testing that, I'm just going to be talking about it, pros and cons of it, and yeah, shit like that. So what is this ultimate enchant? Of course, you have Wisdom. Wisdom is what normal mages use. So as you can see, it gains 1 intel for every 5 levels of EXP Avenue, capped at 20 intel. Of course, as you tier this up at tier 5 or Wisdom 5, you gain 5 intelligence for every 5 levels of XP on you, and it's going to be capped at 100 intelligence. So if you put this on all 4 of your armor pieces, you'd be getting a free 400 intelligence for just having 100 levels on you. At the moment, a Wisdom 5 book is about 3.4 mil, so to put on your full armor set, it's going to be a bit over 13 million coins. Compared to this next enchant, that's close to nothing, so yeah. Pros of this, free intel, very good, and the intel also scales with blessings in it, and they finally fixed it so it'll work in dungeons. There aren't really any cons to this, it's actually pretty cheap if you buy the books yourself, and if you don't already have some tier of Wisdom, then you should put it on. Wisdom 3 is also super cheap, I think it's like, what, 800k to 1 mil per book, so it's not too bad actually. And this next ultimate enchant is Legion. You probably know Legion as a flex enchant, you put it on your tux, you get more damage and shit like that. Is it really good though? As you can see, it increases all your player stats except health by 0.07% per player within 30 blocks if you up to 20 players. At Legion 1, that is about a 1.4% stat increase if you have 20 players nearby you, and that's per armor piece too. At tier 5, you get a 0.35% stat boost per player. If you have 20 players, you'd be getting a 7% stat increase per piece, and in total that's 28% more stats just for having Legion 5. So 28%. That's a lot of stats. That's a fourth of your stats just stacked on top of your regular stats. That's nuts. So you may be thinking, wait, why not just use this for Mage over Wisdom? Isn't this so much better? Well, you see, you don't always have 20 players on you. In dungeons, you can have a max of 4 players nearby you. With 4 players, that's about, what? A 1.4% stat increase per piece, which is about 5.6% if you have the full Legion 5 armor set. And in fact, I did put Legion 5 on all 4 of my pieces. Yeah. I'm stupid. I also put on my tarantula boots too. So yes, it is a 5% increase. I generally get about 12,000 intel in dungeons, at least at the end of the run with a wither skeleton out and tarantula boots on. I just put that in a calculator and 5.6% of 12,000 is about 672 intel, which is not going to be more than Wisdom, because the thing is that the Wisdom's intel scales with the blessings. So say that you get more blessings of Wisdom, your Wisdom intel will be basically accumulating more and more intelligence. So really, even though it's technically 400 base intel, it'll be more and more as your dungeon run progresses. So Legion only gives 672, which isn't too much, honest. But there's another reason why I got Legion. With an enchanting update, they released ability damage. Or at least, I don't know if it was in the game previously, but I really only noticed it once the enchanting update dropped. Well, what does this mean? Why is this why is this important at all? Let me show you why. Ability damage is a stat. Yeah, I know, right? It's a fucking stat in the game now. So Legion actually buffs ability damage. Yup, it does that. Why does it do that? Because it's a stat and it increases all player stats by a certain percentage. Of course, it's not too big of a buff, but it's enough to make it better than Wisdom. Now, during the dungeon run, you normally don't have your players nearby you or your teammates nearby you, but at the Necron boss fight, on phase 2 and phase 4, you have your teammates right by your ass. They're literally up there, they could sniff your ass if they wanted to. They're super, super close to you. This is why Legion is good. It gives you a 5.6% stat increase at the important phases of Necron. You don't need a stat boost on terminals, you don't need a stat boost on phase 1, anyone can do phase 1, it's so easy. But phase 2 and phase 4 are really where your damage matters, especially if you're like duo carrying or whatever, which I occasionally do. yeah, you need a lot of damage, and Legion actually helps out so much with that. Also, the radius is huge, and I think that ghosts actually count as players too. It was within 30 blocks of you, which is a 30 block radius, and that is just nuts. So Legion increases your mana and your ability damage. Whoa! It's a 2-in-1. That's pretty sick. Legion 5 costs a lot of money. As you can see, these are going for like 18 million coins. This is a fucking scam. But yeah, 18 million coins per piece. If you do the math, that is 72 million for your full set. And also, bro, why? Yeah, if you are grinding dungeons, then definitely get Legion. If you're not grinding dungeons, then definitely get Legion. It's just a good ultimate enchant. So is it actually worth 72 million? I mean, if you have 72 million, then maybe so, I don't know. I had a lot of money left over because I've been grinding a lot of coin. So, yeah, I just decided to put Legion 5 on my armor, and it's actually, I haven't noticed too much of a difference, but it feels good, okay? But I'm planning something in the future. If you're wondering what the thing is, I'm gonna put Chimera on my Hyperion. Yeah, no, it's not gonna be Chimera 5 because I'm not that rich. I'm not like, I don't have 800 million coins, but it's gonna be a decent level of Chimera. And Legion will increase the stats of the ability damage even more, which is gonna be great. And of course, the ability damage is gonna be put on my Hyperion because I have a sheep, and it's just gonna be good, trust me. So if you can't afford Legion, of course Wisdom's fine. I wouldn't recommend putting like at Legion 3, just at least get Legion 4 if you're gonna get Legion. But other than that, Wisdom's always good, it's always there, yeah. It's just a good ultimate enchant if you can't afford Legion. And also, if you can't get Legion, don't be in a rush to get it. It's not 100% needed. As long as you can survive and you're used to your setup, you're doing fine and done. Yeah, that's it for me. I'm gonna be grinding a lot more over winter break so that I can actually get Chimera on my Hyperion, and I can actually compare it, and actually be able to solo one cycle Necron. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye.